So you see what I've been telling you. It's nothing like it seems.
So Deviate was conceived here in the Cairngorms National Park. Myself and Chris were guiding a group of friends through the national park, and it was on one of those rides where we decided to found a bike company, and Deviate came to life right in the heart of the Cairngorms National Park. So it's a bit of a spiritual home for Deviate, really. And I think when we make decisions about what bikes should do and what they should be used for, a lot of the time in our heads is, would they work here? And, you know, would they work in this amazing but rugged and quite extreme and unforgiving environment? So the Claymore launched in 2022, and 2022 became a bit of a seminal year for Deviate. The Claymore was launched to kind of critical acclaim. I mean, it took us by surprise. The world's kind of mountain bike specific media loved it, and in terms of putting Deviate on the map as a player, the Claymore really did an awful lot for us. As a result of the success of that year, we wanted to do something to celebrate the success of that year, but also celebrate where Deviate came from. And that's when we got speaking to Douglas Roulston, a Scottish artist who paints these unbelievable landscapes of Scotland.
I ride a bike to loads of different places in Scotland as a tool to get to places and then to paint my pictures and to work into my sketchbook. When I was riding, I thought it would be such a cool idea to have a Scottish branded bike to collaborate with and to almost like create an image of like a mountain biking artist. I spoke to an agent and they contacted Deviate because I was a bit scared to do it. The fact that Ben's brother had just bought one of my paintings like 2 weeks prior to this conversation, it really was just, it was kind of like fate. I was just absolutely over the moon to find that out. And then when Ben and I met, we were just on the same wavelength, and we just, you know, loved the adventure and about getting out, and he loved the idea of me cycling to my places and painting. And then, you know, the collaboration just happened, and now I'm painting my pictures onto one of his awesome bike frames. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I knew from day one that I had to keep my brush strokes really, really fine, because the conventional way would be to use airbrush through it, but I didn't want to lose any of my style within the art, so I decided to use paintbrushes. So I kept the paintbrushes really fine, and I did use a bit of spray paint to create different layers, and then a rigger brush to do those fine grass blades that sort of weave its way up through the frame. The bike features loads of different parts of the Cairngorms. One of the main features that I'm really proud of is the Green Loch in Aviemore, and it cascades down into two waterfalls that go down both sides of the coil spring into beautiful streams that are meant to highlight the stream from Ben Macdui. And then up the side of the seat stay, I've got the Caledonian forest with our beautiful pine trees and the birch trees that then come down to the Cairngorms into our long flowing heathers. Scotland is full of history. It has clans, it had the Highland clearances. You know, there's quite a spiritual feeling about Scotland when you're there, and you can't help but feel part of that history when you're walking through the Highlands and the Cairngorms. That was one thing that I wanted to showcase in a lot of my paintings, and I do this with having light rays piercing through the clouds, with colourful parts on the landscape where the light rays have been hitting. The
Cairngorms National Park is just a fantastic place to ride bikes. You've got such a variety of terrain here, from the kind of high plateau riding, which is very open, you know, unchanged in 10,000 years. It's kind of just as it was at the end of the last ice age. So you're riding some proper untouched, kind of rugged mountain terrain up there. And then you go into the forest, and it's one of the few places in Scotland where you still find the Caledonian pine forests, which we've been riding through today, and you ride through on any adventure through the Cairngorms. And I think it's the sense of adventure you get from going there. You know, the moment you kind of head into the national park and, you know, especially kind of up and over onto the plateau, you really get a sense of remoteness that you don't get in many places in the UK or in Europe nowadays.
Oh, I've absolutely loved the process. It's like something that, you know, I could never have dreamt of. The adventure's just starting, to be honest. Hopefully we're going to go places with this. Loads of people are asking me, am I going to ride the bike? I'm being told it's far too pretty to ride, but you know, mountain bikes are made and built to go down mountains, so hopefully that might happen.